So I'm back with Julie McDonald at Freshcoast Wellness here in Marquette, highlighting the weight loss services that they offer. So Julie, what's the patient experience like? I know when you're getting an IV infusion, you're hanging out here. Is this the similar for that program?
No, it's a little bit different. Actually, I'll show you our consult room in the back here. So we can walk back here.
So you get a nice private space.
Absolutely, yep. We have a private room. We're just gonna go right in here. You can step on in.
And we've got Lacey waiting for us. Perfect.
So this is the consult room. So for patients, we're gonna go out and get these patients, bring them back. Of course, there's a lot of privacy given a special space. And this is where we would kind of dive in, reviewing like their medical intake form, discussing what kind of issues that they've had in the past or questions or concerns. And we really go deep on talking specifically about the medications and specifically about side effects that they might have and all that kind of stuff related to our program. So
what might some of those side effects be?
So definitely the most common side effects are gastrointestinal related, so GI related. I would say the most common is nausea. A lot of people can get some constipation with it, which is why we hyper focus on having to make sure that you have enough water intake. Some people on the other side can get some diarrhea side effects, and a few people will complain of fatigue, but the vast majority symptoms actually improve as they've been on the medication over the course of a couple of months.
How long are people typically on the medication, and what's that process like?
That's a great question. We do get that a lot of times at our initial consult is how long do I have to be on it? And quite honestly, that's a variable answer. It really depends on a lot of factors. It depends on how much weight do they have to lose, how much weight do they want to lose, as well as how motivated are they to make those lifestyle changes. As we referenced earlier, our patients that have graduated from our program have been very successful with the lifestyle the side of things as well.
And so, talking about those lifestyle changes, that's what's going to make somebody successful in keeping the weight off?
Exactly. We tend to talk about the GLPs as like an additional tool in the toolbox. So what that means is if you don't make those lifestyle changes, then the chances of having the weight come back as you stop the medication is much greater. But if you use it as an additional tool in conjunction with making sure that you move your body, making sure that you have enough protein intake and enough water intake, then you'll be much more successful because those three habit changes are things that are going to stick with you lifelong.
So let's pretend I'm a patient in this program. What can I expect from my sessions? How long am I going to be here? How often am I coming to meet with you and to check in with you, Lacey?
Sure, so that's going to be variable too. So some people are coming in, they've never been on this medication. Those appointments are going to take a little bit longer. We usually try to set aside like anywhere from 40 minutes to an hour for those patients. Some people have been on this medication before and all of a sudden their insurance stopped coverage. And so now they're coming to us to try to get the compounded version so they can stay on this and keep trying to reach their goals. Those appointments for people who already know the medication are a little bit shorter because there's a little less education to provide to them. They've already kind of been through some of the side effects and they're kind of on the other side. So long story short, I think an average of like 30 to 40 minutes for an initial consult is really fair.
Yeah, so kind of like, oh, sorry about that.
Okay.
So kind of like a regular check-in appointment with your primary care provider.
Yep. And then there are follow-up appointments with us. Like Julie said, they come in every month. We meet with you every month. Some people we do telehealth visits for, and then they just come in and pick up their medication with us here. But for the most part, we see them in person. We get their weights when they come in. We talk about their successes, their barriers, things like that. But those appointments are relatively fast, so they're about 15 to 20 minutes long.
So if I'm considering going on one of these medications, going on one of these programs, why should I come here to Freshcoast Wellness instead of visiting with my primary care provider?
That's a good question. So primary care coverage is part of the issue. A lot of insurances, especially since the start of this year, a lot of insurance companies are no longer paying for this medication. So a lot of people have had great success with it and want to continue their success. And for the other people that didn't necessarily have insurance coverage, What we're trying to do here is different than a lot of other places. I mean, there's online pharmacies, there's other local places that are offering it, but what has made us different, and I think why we've had such substantial growth, is that we're truly coaching these patients and holding their hand as they're doing it. So we really get most of our medications from a single pharmacy, and a lot of places online are basically trying to get the best deal that they can. So if you're getting your medication 1 month from one pharmacy, another from another, you have a much greater risk of having side effects. And our side effect profile for our patients is much less because we've been able to source through the same pharmacy.
So it sounds like a lot more consistency too, and maybe medication availability. Is that an issue that you've run into at all?
So it's nothing that we've actually had affect us at this point. Julie and I have worked really hard with the pharmacies that we've been using to make sure that we still have supply, and our goal is to be able to keep that supply coming and have it not affect our patients so they can really focus on taking care of themselves and doing the things they need to do.
At what point in somebody's weight loss journey should they, consider this as their next best option?
So if you've tried diet and exercise on your own and you've had no success, then why not give it a try?
Yeah.
I think that it's safe, it works really well, and I think that if you've got the mindset that this is a tool that's helping you create those lifestyle changes, then you're going to be ultimately successful and happier in the long term. One of the things we've had a lot of people say to us as they've been in this program with us is, I wish I would have started this sooner. If I would have done this last year, if I would have done this 3 months ago. But they're really happy with the results they're having. And we talk about let's focus on the here and now. And now is when you started it, and so we're going to move forward.
And it seems like now is a great time to maybe start one of these programs getting into the spring and summer months. I want to continue talking about it, the benefits. We already went over some of the side effects, but we'll carry this conversation over when we come back from the commercial break.